Almost 7:45 on your Monday morning. Federal student loans, yes, they are due again. Department of Education restarted collecting the loans in default just a couple of weeks ago, and it put millions of borrowers at risk of having their benefits and wages garnished. And according to the department, roughly 5.3 million borrowers are already in default, and less than 40% of all borrowers are currently on student loans. So a big conversation here as the government cracks down. Local personal finance professional Mike Martinez of Martinez and Associates is here with us to discuss how to do this in a way that isn't going to put you in a bad situation, because they are garnishing. Thank you, Mike, for being here as always.
Yes, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, right? I mean, if the loan's in default, you have to be careful, because the federal government then can come after your money.
Right.
So, and what I mean by that is, if you have any federal money coming in, or if you have a tax return, they can seize that money. So if you want to call these lenders, and you want to do maybe a loan rehabilitation, which is the lender and you get together and you decide on a payment plan you can afford, and that helps take it out of default. So the problem is having it in default.
What about the graduates that we just celebrated this past weekend, for example? We've got more happening next weekend. There's always a little bit of a lull before you have to start paying that loan back. For people who may think maybe this is just a pause in the program, or maybe they'll forgive it in the future, what do you say to them?
Well, again, I think you're going to have to look at the law to find out. I don't think it can be done by executive order. I think it has to be through Congress. This is not going to go away. The first administration, Trump, paused it, Biden extended it, and now Trump said no, it has to be paid, and that's it. So unless they agree, and I hope maybe they do come up with it. But the other thing you got to be careful with, Lucy, is by defaulting, it also affects your credit score, and you don't want to start off with a bad credit score, being a graduate, not paying the payments on time. So I would suggest get those payments going, make sure you keep it on time, and if you're on default, get with that lender.
So what is default? When is it the fact that you didn't call them to begin with? When do they consider somebody, this is not a cooperative party?
Well, you're not paying, and you have not communicated. So it goes into default. So
communicating goes a long way.
Absolutely, because like I said, there is programs to rehabilitate the loan, and you can have an agreement, but it has to be between you and the lender. It's not you just automatically start paying.
Right.
So you have to have this approved, and if it is, they'll take it out of default. The other thing you have to remember that, you know, if they're not going to forgive on this and we have to make payments, I will tell you some secrets as far as talk to employers when you're coming out of college and you're getting a job. Like my daughter was telling me, my dad, the company that I'm working for, might not pay for my student loan, but they will pay for my master's. Some companies will also come in and chip in and help pay for that student loan as part of the program when they offer you a job. So don't be afraid to ask and say, hey, does this job come with any possibility help with the student loans?
There's always a way.
Absolutely. If you don't ask, you're not going to receive.
Absolutely. Okay, and just a very quick last question. Do you risk going higher on the interest rate, or is a loan different for a student that the interest rate will always stay the same?
The loan is going to stay the same, but again, the problem with default is your credit score is affected. You know, the federal government says, hey, you have any refunds coming back when you start working, that's all going to go towards a student loan. Any money that they owe you is going to be taken, so you really don't want to lose control over this. You want to make sure that you control it. So I would say communicate and try to get something set up so you don't default.
Call your lender, guys. That is the takeaway. Call the lender. Thank you as always.